9 egg brands sitting in American refrigerators right now have been formally accused in federal complaints or class action lawsuits of lying about how their hens actually live. You've probably bought at least one of them. Eggland's Best is in this video. So is Kroger. So is Trader Joe's, and it's not just marketing spin. Some of these brands were tied to actual salmonella recalls this year. One is caught up in a Department of Justice price-fixing settlement over how much you paid at checkout. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which egg carton to throw out tonight and which 3 brands actually earned their pasture-raised label. Let's get into it. Here's the problem. Terms like farm fresh, natural, and no hormones added have no legal definition on an egg carton. None. The USDA doesn't regulate them. Any company can print them on a package, regardless of how the hens are actually raised. Hormones aren't even given to laying hens in the first place, so no hormones isn't a health claim, it's a marketing trick built on a fact that was already true. Cage-free and free-range do have USDA definitions, but they're looser than most shoppers assume. Cage-free just means hens can move around inside a shed, no outdoor access required. Free-range only requires access to the outdoors, and that can legally mean a single small door in a building that holds tens of thousands of birds. That gap between the picture on the carton and the reality inside the barn is exactly where multiple federal complaints and class action lawsuits have landed in the last few years. We looked at 9 egg brands tied to real FTC complaints, class actions, or FTA recalls. These are the ones you need to know about before your next grocery run. If protecting your family's grocery cart matters to you, hit subscribe. We do this every week. Let's start with the ones that got caught lying about a picture. Number 9. Davidson's Safest Choice, made by National Pasture-Raised Eggs. Here's what they don't want you to know. In 2016, the Humane Society of the United States filed a formal complaint with the Federal Trade Commission against this brand. The complaint alleged that National Pasture-Raised Eggs, sold nationwide in grocery stores, was misrepresenting how its eggs were actually produced. The carton showed something very different from the barn. The imagery on the packaging depicted open pastures, a red barn, and hens roaming free, while the eggs inside were coming from hens confined to battery cages, unable to spread their wings. Go outside, or see sunlight. That's not a stretch. That's the actual language of the complaint. The health risk here isn't contamination. It's psychological. You're paying a premium for a product you believe came from a specific kind of farm, and that farm doesn't exist. So, why is this still on shelves? Because farm fresh and pastoral carton art aren't regulated the same way ingredient labels are. A picture isn't legally a claim, even when it functions like one. Not great. Not exactly illegal either, but it's the exact playbook you're about to see again. And again. Number 8. Trader Joe's Cage-Free Eggs. Let's talk about number 8. This one actually went to court, and Trader Joe's lost the packaging fight. A 2016 lawsuit alleged that Trader Joe's cartons showed hens foraging outside in green, wide-open pastures, when in reality, those hens spent their entire lives inside industrial hen houses with no outdoor access at all. The Animal Legal Defense Fund brought the case on behalf of a California shopper. The complaint argued that the packaging misled consumers about the actual conditions hens were raised in. Trader Joe's didn't fight it to the end. In response to the legal action, Trader Joe's pulled the packaging, not just in California, but nationwide. Check your fridge right now if you've got a Trader Joe's cage-free carton with rolling green hills printed on the side. You're looking at old inventory design, the exact imagery a lawsuit forced off the shelf. Cage-free, remember, only means no cages. It says nothing about grass, sunlight, or space. As one advocacy group put it plainly, cage-free doesn't mean cruelty-free. Number 7. Eggland's Best. Number 7 surprised us, honestly. Eggland's Best markets itself as the eggs nutrition-conscious shoppers trust. But a class action complaint filed in the Northern District of Illinois told a different story. The lawsuit alleged that Eggland's Best used terms like free to roam and natural to attract consumers specifically seeking eggs from hens raised in free-range or pasture-raised environments, even though the hens producing its cage-free eggs never actually lived that way. The plaintiff argued shoppers paid a premium for a lifestyle claim that didn't match the barn. This is the same trick as numbers 9 and 8, just with different words on the label. Natural has no legal definition at all. Remember that from Phase 2? Any egg qualifies. So does free to roam, unless it's backed by an actual third-party certification, which in this case, it wasn't. The lawsuit sought reimbursement for the price premium consumers paid. We don't know how it resolved for every claimant, but the pattern here is what matters, and it's about to get worse. Number 6. Happy Egg Co. Remember what we said about humane washing back in Phase 2? This is the brand that got a federal complaint written specifically to describe it. Happy Egg Co. markets its eggs as pasture-raised, the supposed top tier of egg labeling. Pasture-raised is generally understood as requiring roughly 108 square feet of outdoor space per hen, compared to just 21.8 square feet for free-range hens. A 2021 class action alleged Happy Eggs hens weren't actually getting that space, and should have been labeled free-range instead, the tier below what the carton claimed. Then, it escalated. A 2024 FTC complaint from alleged the company falsely claimed to uphold the highest animal humane standards, with hens who live their best lives and receive a superior standard of care, language the complaint called humane washing that doesn't reflect standard industry practices for so-called pasture or free-range operations. So why is this still marketed the way it is? Because pasture-raised isn't federally defined either. There's no inspector checking square footage before the carton gets printed. Number 5. Kroger's private label eggs. Number 5 is the one that probably sits in your own fridge right now since it's one of the largest grocery chains in the country. Kroger's store brand eggs were named in a 2023 lawsuit over cage-free and free-range label claims. Part of the same wave of litigation that's hit brand after brand on this list. Legal trackers have grouped this case alongside similar actions against Nellie's Free Range in 2021 and Eggland's Best in 2024, all accused of misleading consumers about hen living conditions using labels like free range, cage-free, and farm fresh. We don't have the full complaint text in front of us, so we won't invent specifics. What we do know is this. When 4 or 5 major brands get hit with nearly identical complaints in the same 2-year window, that's not one bad actor. That's an industry habit. Is your carton on this list? Check the fine print before you toss the box. Number 4. Alderfer Family Farm. But number 4 is where the pattern gets its price tag attached. This is where a company actually had to pay. A class action filed in December 2023 alleged that Alderfer's marketing suggested its hens were free roaming, implying a higher standard of animal welfare, when in reality, according to the complaint, the birds were confined to cages. Consumers argued they paid a premium believing they were buying something more ethical. Alderfer didn't admit wrongdoing but agreed to a $287,500 class action settlement to resolve the allegations. Claimants without a receipt could still collect for up to 2 cartons. With proof of purchase, there was no cap. That's real money changing hands over a label. Not a fine from a regulator, a payout funded by the company itself. It's the clearest sign yet that these labeling lawsuits aren't just noise. They're starting to cost brands actual dollars. Now here's where this list stops being about pictures on a box. It gets physical. Number 3. August Egg Company. This one isn't about a misleading carton. This one made people sick. In June 2025, the FDA announced that August Egg Company of Hillmar, California, recalled over 1.7 million dozen eggs, more than 20 million individual eggs, due to a possible salmonella contamination. The recall covered brown cage-free and brown certified organic eggs sold under a long list of private labels: Clover, First Street, New Laid, O Organics, Marketside, Rayleigh's, Simple Truth, Sun Harvest, and Sunnyside. The outbreak sickened 79 people and led to 21 hospitalizations across multiple states. Illnesses were reported in Arizona, California, Kentucky, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, and Washington. Here's the part that should worry you. You didn't buy August Egg Company at the store. You bought Marketside, or O Organics, or Simple Truth, private label eggs sitting under your regular grocery chain's own brand name. One producer sold under 9 different labels, all pulled from shelves at once. Salmonella causes fever, cramping, and diarrhea in healthy adults, and can turn genuinely dangerous for young kids, older adults, or anyone immunocompromised. This is exactly why we check plant codes, not just brand names. Number 2. Black Sheep Egg Company, and Ken's Hens. There's one thread tying this entry to the last one. We'll name it in a second. In fall 2025, Black Sheep Egg Company of Walnut Ridge, Arkansas, recalled cartons of free-range large-grade A brown eggs due to potential salmonella contamination. The company had also distributed eggs to other businesses in Arkansas and Missouri, which may have repackaged them under their own labels. That's exactly what happened next. A company called Ken's Hens, based in Santa Fe, Texas, recalled its own 12-count packages of grade A large pasture-raised eggs after receiving contaminated stock from Black Sheep. Those eggs had been sold in retail stores around Houston. So here's the thread. A salmonella problem at one supplier didn't stay contained to one brand. It traveled downstream, got repackaged under a completely different name and an even higher-sounding label, Pasture-Raised, and ended up back on shelves before anyone caught it. You could have bought pasture-raised eggs that were, in fact, recalled contaminated stock with a new sticker on the carton. That should scare you more than any misleading picture on a box. Number 1. Cal-Maine Foods, Versova Holdings, and Hickman's Egg Ranch. And here's where it stops being about any single carton at all. Number 1 is the one that hit every single egg buyer in America, no matter what brand you chose. In 2026, Cal-Maine Foods, Versova, and Hickman's Egg Ranch, 3 of the largest egg producers in the country, agreed to pay $3.3 million to 17 states and donate over 53 million eggs nationwide, following allegations that they illegally coordinated bids to manipulate Urner Barry, the benchmark pricing service that grocery stores and restaurants use to set egg prices. This came during a period when average retail prices for a dozen large grade A eggs had spiked 150% in a single year, the largest annual jump on record. That spike was widely blamed on avian flu alone. The settlement suggests it wasn't only the birds driving the price at checkout. This isn't a labeling trick. It's not one bad batch of contaminated eggs. It's an allegation that 3 of the biggest names controlling the egg supply coordinated with each other while you paid the bill. That's number 1. And it's the reason the next section matters more than ever. So after all that, are there any eggs actually worth trusting? Yes, 3 brands stood out, not because of a slogan, but because of independent, third-party verification you can actually check yourself. Pete & Gerry's. This brand became the first egg producer in the entire country to earn certified humane status all the way back in 2003. That's not a marketing phrase, it's a third-party audit performed by Humane Farm Animal Care, an outside nonprofit with no financial stake in Pete & Gerry's sales. Their free-range standard guarantees hens get a minimum of 2 square feet of daily outdoor access for at least 6 hours a day, whenever weather and safety allow. They also offer a USDA-certified organic line, meaning 2 separate independent certifications instead of one carton claim you have to take on faith. Look for the certified humane seal directly on the carton, not just the words free-range printed near it. Nellie's Free Range. This is Pete & Gerry's sister brand, and it earned that same certified humane seal in 2003 alongside it, making it the first free-range brand in the country to hold the certification. It's grown into the largest free-range egg brand in the U.S., while keeping the same third-party audits in place. If you want the animal welfare verification without paying the organic premium, this is the one to look for. Same seal, same standard, lower price point. Alexandra Family Farm. This one goes a step further than free-range or even standard pasture-raised. Alexandra uses mobile coops that get physically moved to a new plot of fresh pasture twice a week, giving hens acres of space, roughly 10 times the minimum required for a pasture-raised claim, with access to that pasture 365 days a year, not just a few minutes near a barn door. The farm holds certified regenerative organic status, verified through outcome-based measurements of soil health and biodiversity, not just a checkbox inspection. It's pricier and harder to find outside West Coast grocers and specialty retailers, but it's the closest thing on this list to what the pastoral pictures on other cartons were only pretending to show you. All 3 of these brands share one thing the other 9 didn't: a certification you can verify independently, printed right on the package, backed by an organization that isn't the company itself. Let's recap the 3 you need to check for tonight. If you've got Trader Joe's cage-free eggs with old pastoral packaging, Eggland's Best, or anything from August Egg Company's list of private labels. Clover, First Street, New Laid, O Organics, Market Side, Rayleigh's, Simple Truth, Sun Harvest, or Sunnyside, go check the plant code on the side of the carton right now. Share this with someone who shops at Walmart, Kroger, or Costco. They're buying these same brands every single week, and most of them have no idea a federal complaint or a salmonella recall is attached to the carton in their fridge. Save this video for your next grocery trip. You're not going to remember 9 brand names standing in the dairy aisle. And if this is the kind of thing you want us digging into every week, hit subscribe. Next time, we're doing the same investigation on bottled olive oil, and what we found is worse.